Hello and welcome back to another Demis Hellen tutorial. We are going to look at recreating one of these presets that's coming from my upcoming pack, 15 trance leads, and it's going to be sometime in the next couple of weeks. There's a few final touches to make yet. I've loaded some of them in here and I thought let's go through and recreate the Punisher and just get the general sound of it, and then obviously you can discover the extras and all the other presets in the pack when they go live. So the Punisher sounds like this. And it sounds pretty aggressive. If you don't agree with that, then you must have your headphones turned right down. But it's got a really nice aggressive sound, and we'll use the same melodic sequence there so you can hear exactly what's going on. So we've got a new instance of Massive and it sounds like this. And to create that sound we use some FM modulation. So we're going to pick here the basic sounds, basic shapes, and we'll use the wavetable position to pick the square. And there we have it, that is the first point. Now to get that distorted sound, that kind of really harsh, in-your-face sound, there is coupling up with a bit of distortion and other things and other techniques. But we're going to choose the bend method down here, and we're actually going to use FM from B. So we could use it from the sub, you can use it from B, entirely up to you. I think you can use it from noise as well. Yeah, noise oscillator. Okay, so on oscillator B, we're going to turn this on and turn this down. And now we can influence this sound by shifting the FM modulation. As you can hear there. So we're going to shift it to a reasonable area which sounds quite aggressive but nice at the same time. Which is about there. Now you can influence all this sound. You could put on a mirror. So there's different ways that you can adapt the sound by using different patterns in your oscillator. Obviously a lot more limited in your sub, but you do have quite a few options in the noise oscillator here with the organics and the attacks and stuff like that. So we're just going to bend this a little bit. So we're just going to make it a little bit sharper there, and you can hear now we can adjust this. Okay, we'll keep it there. It's got a little bit of gritty texture to it, and that is the starting point there. So the next thing that I tend to do is grab envelope 2. I'm just going to shorten this down to a random position. And I'm going to put a filter on. So I'm going to use an MG low 18 for ease of use. On there, so we can set it to a section that we like. So we'll have it like that. Just open that up a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll link this mod wheel to this. So it doesn't have to go plucky, you can have it so it just fades out with a solid envelope like that, and it'll just maintain that note length throughout the changing process there. But we're going to go for a bit of a more plucky sound as it fades off. Brilliant. So let's go into the effects, hit distortion. I'm going to drag this to the top, it's always good practice to keep it in order. And we're just going to put some distortion on and put pre, leave it on tube for a second. So it's not particularly what I'm looking for. We're going to jump to the 0 square. So now we have some control using the filter. plenty of things that you can do with this. I'm just going to pick one of these. So I'm just shaping the sound, I'm getting a feel for it, and just making sure that it sits where I want it to. And this is for demonstration purposes, just showing you how things can be manipulated to change that sound. You can see we've achieved quite a nice sound straight off the mark for a single note lead. So next in line, let's just put a little bit of delay. I'm just going to put these just quickly to 8ths dotted on that one, and then just 8ths on that one. We'll pick ping pong, and we'll remove some of that low frequency detail. So it's just a little bit of detail in there, and then let's just put some reverb on for good measure. Let's keep it simple size there, decay just up a little bit, and we'll cut some of those lows out, turn them off. Okay, so now we have our basic sound there, and if you're wanting it to be a little bit out of the centre, we can obviously turn the Detune down and we can up it to 2 voices. So now we have 2 independent voices, but it gives you a little bit more of a stereo width. So let's listen to this as it changes. You are going to come across a few phasing issues. You can adjust the phase here. It all depends on what you're trying to create at the end of the day. But you can see Detune separates those phasing voices. That's the word I'm looking for, the phasing voices. And they get slower and slower in phase until they're joined together. You can just have them separate a little bit just to get a little bit of stereo detail, and that doesn't require you adding any sort of expander and stereo expander and stuff like that. So it gives you the option there. And finally, the thing that I will do to that is either add some white noise. We can use some of the drive and give it a bit of a fuller sound. So let's just do some of that. Mod here, because it's overriding that shape there, because there's a lot going on. I'm just going to reduce this to so it goes quite nicely into its pluck status. Let's just up this pluck again progressively, more aggressive. Okay, so that is setting that up, and then as like a final thing, you can add some flange in there and start assigning some mod control, so you can introduce different effects. But there's many different things that you can do. We can put on the filter here. Sometimes sound design will include comb filters. So if we go in here and just go for a yeah, that one. So it just gives it a little bit more different direction. So you've got a bit of control over the sound there. So you can add that there, and we could modulate that with that. So if we want to change the timbre. can put it in different positions so it can fit into your mix a little bit better. And what we could do as well is we could have the mix on the next one, so it removes it entirely if you don't want that in there, and then label them accordingly as well. And then finally, if you really want to, you can change the sound up entirely here. So let's just put the filter at the next level and put the compressor last. We can have just standard compression. Just really squash those peaks down a little bit on a 4:1, which it starts at. Okay, just to keep the sound under control. Or you can use the multiband feature, which, let's just turn this down. You can control the multiple bands. So you get a cleaner sound. You could remove some of the bass out of there and just have these top end compressed. So there's multiple ways that you can approach this, and it's all down to your sound design. But we're not going to put that on there. So there you are. That is a preset using a square lead and making a sort of aggressive trance lead. It sounds pretty nice. It's just straight from a square and using the FM from oscillator B. Use any shape you want. Draw your own shape in there if you want to. If you want to draw extra bits in and make it sound different, go for it. That gives it a different sound again. There's so many things that are possible to adapting the sound. So I hope you found this tutorial useful, and I hope that you can follow along and recreate that as well. The pack that involves all of these sounds, I'll be doing a separate video introducing all the sounds and all the different ways that you can modify them using the way I've set it up with the mod controls and stuff. So there's a lot of things going on there, but they need condensing down into really solid presets. There's a couple of iffy ones that I need to just get to that level, but these are sounding mega at the moment, covering quite a wide variety of trance as well. And they don't have to be used in just in trance, they can be used in any genre. If you want to do a down-tempo track and you can make one of these sounds fit, then go for it. There is no limit to creation. So there we have it. That is a lead. Hope you can follow that and hope you found it useful. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and also share and like the video. Always reply to comments too, so feel free to do any of those, and I will see you in the next video.